All the kids chin up, smile and celebrate the day, as this day is especially devoted to all of you. And those who have grown up, they must keep the kid alive in them. 14th November is observed as a Children's Day, also known as Bal Divas, and the occasion commemorates the birthday anniversary of the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who had a lot of love and affection for the children whom he called the future of the country. And he also said that the future of a country depends on how children and students are treated in a country. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was very particular about quality education, and that's why he laid a lot of emphasis on the establishment of the good colleges, and that's why the colleges of the country till date are counted and considered to be one of the best colleges of the country. After the demise of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in 1964, his birthday was getting celebrated and observed as Children's Day. Even 20th November is observed internationally as Children's Day, which is a reminder that every child deserves education, nurturing and the best of the things. आज इस चिल्ड्रंस डे के मौके पे मुझे एक छोटा सा एक पोएम याद आता है जो कि क्लास 6th के बुक्स में है, और उस पोएम का टाइटल है वेकेशन बाय रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर. दिस पोएम is so simple. Otherwise, when we go and ask a kid that what he wants to be in his life, now we often find that the kids come out with the answers that he wants to be a doctor, she wants to be an engineer, the pilot, astronauts and a lot of things. But in the poem, which is about a kid, which is about an innocent child, whom we see Rabindranath Tagore himself as that innocent child, he puts himself at the place, and the beautiful poem is about where the poet doesn't want to be a doctor, engineer and scientist, but what he wants to be a hawker, because a hawker is free to move around the places he likes. What he likes to be, he wants to be a gardener, so that as a kid who doesn't want to play and spoil his clothes with the dust and get wet in the rain with nobody there to stop him, who doesn't like to move around at night freely on the different streets. So that is all the poem is about. The poem is in 6th class. It's a beautiful poem where we really see that how the life is to be, because sometimes we overburden small kids and we fix their mind, we put the things in the mind that he or she has to be this and that, and with that burden we find a child doesn't have that free and carefree development, which is at time not good. So the poem is the vacation, and it goes like this. When the gong sounds 10 in the morning and I walk to school by a lane, I meet the hawker every day crying bangles, crystal bangles. There is nothing to hurry him up. There is no road he must take, no place he must go, and no time when he must come home. I wish I were a hawker, spending my days in the road crying bangles, crystal bangles. In the second stanza, we find that the kid Rabindranath Tagore wants to be a gardener. He says, when at 4 in the afternoon, when I come from the school, I can see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade, he soils his clothes, there is nobody to take him task if he gets baked in the sun and gets wet. I wish I were a gardener digging away my day with nobody stop me, with nobody stopping from my digging. And in the final paragraph, we see that the kid Rabindranath Tagore wants to be a watchman. He says, as it gets dark in the evening, my mother sends me to bed, and I can see through my open window the watchman walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely, and the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. The watchman swings in lanterns and walks with the shadow at his side and never once goes to bed in his life. And that's why the poet Rabindranath Tagore says that I wish I were a watchman walking the street all night and chasing my shadow with my lantern. So that's the beautiful thing. That's a beautiful poem in class 6 is given. Though the poem is given in 6, but the poem in its sense, in its explanation, in its beauty, in its great poetry, sense of great poetry, it's not less than any other poet which should be taught in 9th and 10th. There is a similar poem in class 11th called Childhood, where a childhood asks and he is worried that when did he lose his childhood, and then he reasons himself, he asks a lot of questions, and he wants to know that what was that particular day, what was that particular time when he had lost his childhood. He asks, when did I lose my childhood? Was it the day when I understood that there is no hell in heaven to be found in the book of geography? The next question, again the same question, he repeats himself and he asks, when did I lose my childhood? He said, was it the day I lost my childhood when I understood that the elderly people, there's a lot of difference in what they preach and what they practice. So they do something and they speak something. So was it the day when I understood this difference? Was it the day that I lost my childhood? Once again he asks that, when did I lose my childhood? So this poem is all about this different questions he asked, and then the third time he asked the questions, he said, when did I lose my childhood? And in answer to that, he said that, was it the day I lost my childhood when I understood that my mind was my own? That means being independent, I can take all my decisions. So was the day that when I started taking all my decisions independently, was it the day that I lost my childhood? And at last, he put up a question that, if I lost my childhood, where did my childhood go? So at last he said that childhood is all about innocence. So his childhood has gone, and it has gone and taken shelter onto the face of an innocent child. और इसके लास्ट में गुलजार साहब की कुछ ब्यूटीफुल लाइंस जो है वो कहते हैं कि ए उम्र अगर दम है तो इतनी खता करके दिखा, अब बचपन तो छीन लिया, अब बचपना छीन कर दिखा. And one more, there's a beautiful line and he says that कि बचपन में भरी दोपहरी में पूरा मोहल्ला नाप कर आता था, और जब से डिग्रियां समझ में आने लगी अब पाँव जलने लगे. And at last one more, he says that मैं तो चाहता हूँ कि हमेशा ही मासूम बना रहूँ, परंतु ये ज़िंदगी जो है जो समझदारी सिखाई जा रही है. So that was all my celebration on Children's Day, very special day in everybody's life, especially to those who are associated with teaching profession. The hundreds and thousands of students, they come to give shape to their future. So that was a way of my celebration of this great day called Children's Day and the Bal Divas. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.